Hi wholesalers, welcome to this demonstration of the follow-up task worksheet. Before we get started, I do want to point out our important disclosure, which simply states that we're granting you rights to be able to use this, and we ask respectfully, please don't distribute it, share it, or otherwise publicize it, because it belongs to us and we're giving you permission to use it, which we hope you will. So, legalese out of the way, let's take a look at the follow-up task worksheet. This was designed by a wholesaler after participating in a wholesaler mastermind group call where we talked about the importance of the systematized follow-up process. Now, if you're like me, you go to a conference, you get a stack of business cards, and you take those business cards and you put them in your desk drawer when you know that they should be used and followed up on and cultivated and nurtured, but you get busy. And unfortunately, you don't have a plan in place to be able to work those business cards from the conference or have a systematized plan in place to be able to work what happens after you visit a broker in a one-on-one appointment or any other systematized follow-up that you want to be able to put in place. So let me explain the component pieces of the follow-up task worksheet. So let's start with the data input. Here you've got the owner of the task. You can insert your name, your internal's name, your administrative assistant's name if that's appropriate. But they're going to be the one that owns the rep and the tasks associated with that rep. You can put in the complete rep name here, indicate the broker-dealer that they work for. How did you meet that individual rep? You'll see that I have indicators here which are one-on-one meetings, referrals, drop-ins, etc. You can put miscellaneous notes in this column, and you can indicate the state as where in your territory it originated from, and perhaps there's something special about calling out the first name of the individual versus a name that they have formally indicated and an email address. Now, what's important about this, wholesalers, this is not designed as a CRM. This is designed exclusively to help you keep track of what is supposed to happen by way of follow-up process after you meet a particular rep. So this is where you indicate the date of the first contact. So as an example, I've put my name in this column, and I've indicated that it was a drop-in, and I've indicated that the date of first meeting has already passed. It was April the 16th of 2012. I'll make that easier for you to see, 4/16 of 2012. That's the date of the first contact. Now you have to be able to decide what do you want to happen after that contact takes place, and in what interval after that date of first contact takes place. So this cell allows you to think about the number of days after the initial contact. Well, we already said that my initial contact was 4/16 of 2012. One day after any initial contact, I want to send a thank you email. 4 days after the initial contact, I want my internal to place a follow-up call. 7 days after the initial contact, we're going to email a white paper regarding our retirement research study that we've done. 10 days after the initial contact, my turn to follow up with a phone call. 15 days after the initial contact, we're going to send a snail mail item, in this case a trinket. 21 days after the initial contact, we're going to email an invitation to a teleconference we're going to hold. 28 days later, after the initial contact, we're going to schedule the next meeting because we know when we'll be back in that loop. And 35 days after the initial contact, we're going to send the agenda which speaks about our next meeting. The spreadsheet as it exists gives you the opportunity to put in a total number of 15 different events. You can always add more events if you wish, but we don't necessarily recommend that you go anywhere beyond 15. That's a lot of follow-up to be able to track. So let's put this into a practical application and show you how it would be used. Let's put in the name of a rep, and we'll put in Jane Oliver. her broker-dealer, LPL. We met via a one-on-one appointment. She's in my territory in Wisconsin. The date of first contact, I met her, in this case, last week. I met her on the 8th of May, 2012. Now the question becomes, how do I get all this information populated? Easy to do. Simply jump up to the complete due dates, and when I do that, watch this row. It's going to autofill. I hit complete due dates, and now you can see that all the due dates for all the activities that we have said we need to do are now scheduled across. So external thank you, 1 day later. I met her on the 8th. That takes place on the 9th. Internal follow-up, 4 days later. I met her on the 8th. It'll take place on the 14th. In the notes here, you'll see that Saturdays and Sundays are pushed to the next business day. Now, how do I put this into very practical application? Well, I come in the morning, and let's say that this is now next week, and I want to find out exactly what is due for me or my internal to be able to follow up on this particular day that I put in this box. So in this box, I'm going to type in May 21st, 2012. I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to say show what's due. And after doing the thinking for you, it shows us, if we just highlight this row, it shows us that Jane Oliver on the 21st has this event that is due. My turn as the external to place a follow-up call to her. Once I've taken care of that task, you'll see in the notes here, it says all I have to do is hit Control D, and I'll be able to mark that task as done. Next time I come in on the next day, I simply put in a new date, I hit enter, and I clicked show what's due. In this case, there is nothing due on the 25th, so I'm good to go for this particular day. When I want to go back and see the complete list of everything that is in my follow-up queue, I simply click on show all, and it shows me everything, the complete list of advisors and all of the dates. So wholesalers, we hope you find follow-up task worksheet to assist you with the vital piece of having a tight, systematized follow-up process.